I have never seen the righteous forsaken, nor their seed begging bread. Spirit. There's the separation again. Renee back with the latter part of our topic on reincarnation 101. Jesus said that he would be returning. And that's exactly what he meant. This same Jesus. Spirit. What else? He might look a little different, but that's neither here nor there. If you could do something that no one else on the face of the planet could do, would you do it? Just curious. Because there are some people who are sitting here right now pointing out my imperfections and taking note of them when I want you to know that I could truly care less. After all, where would we be if Moses didn't overcome a lot of the things that he had going on in the flesh? So it doesn't really matter. I know that I'm walking my north node, which is pointed toward heaven, and not my south node, walking this flat earth with no true destination. After all, you must realize that we are all homeless in a sense because we're not home yet. Anyway, I want to go over a couple of things. Not that I've missed, but I just need to add them when it comes to reincarnation. And a portion of scripture that speaks about reincarnation, you probably did not know. In Jeremiah 1 verses, Jeremiah 18 verses 1 through 4. And it reads, the word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord saying, verse 2, arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause thee to hear my words. Verse 3, then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheels. Verse 4, and the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again, another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it. Did you catch that little snippet? He went down to the potter's house. And the vessel that was made of clay, just like you, dirt, was marred in the hands of the potter. Can you not see reincarnation in that scripture? So he made it again, another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it. There can be no other explanation. Reincarnation. You were marred in his hands. So you went through the process one more time, that jar of clay. I also spoke about being reincarnated or incarnated into your mother's womb, and that a little portion of your spirit remains in the flesh. I imagine so that when you come back, it's the same flesh and the same spirit reuniting. So it really doesn't matter about that spirit remaining in it, but the Most High has a reason. My point is when they reincarnate or are recreated in the womb, the flesh and the spirit come back together, you are alive. So that speaks of At what point is this baby considered a person, a human? If you are a living soul, then you are always living and everlasting. So this might be hard for some of you to hear. As a mother, if you choose to abort that vessel, where will the spirit abide? Because it will return to the heavenlies for another 7 years. So ask yourself, because that flesh is the vessel, the house, the temple, if you will. And again, I'm not trying to apply a guilt trip to you, but where would we be if Mary had aborted Jesus's temple? I don't know if anyone can answer that question. Yeah. So The Matrix was actually a documentary. You may not realize it, but it was. And I remember saying to you at some point that everything is connected. Everything. But some of you at this point have decided to not leave the matrix. You'd rather stay in the illusion of this simulation, which is a self-imposed prison once again. There was a scene in the Matrix when the little boy was kind of juggling the spoon. And the famous line from it that I reference in my book is, "There is no spoon. There is no death." Not really, because this flesh is an illusion. We don't die. When you know who you are, you'll realize that you have life everlasting. And if you choose to not realize who you are, then you will face the lake of fire. You've been nudged. This is your push. And should you not heed the things that I'm saying, it will become a shove. You have free will to do whatever you choose. Just know that the consequences are not up to you. So instead of awakening to truth or a higher frequency, you want to stay in the lower frequencies of fear, guilt, and shame. There is no other alternative, because the Most High Lord, love, life, creator, the universe, is awakening. You must awaken if you want to inherit heaven and this 5D matrix. I also created 2 meters, and it took the better part of a year just to form those meters. One is called a high vibrational meter, and the other one is called a Hell's Descent meter. And there are many, many levels on those meters, and the things that are in conjunction with whether you will stay in the matrix or awaken, they're all written out. They are also in my book. Again, I said earlier that this old reality is collapsing. It's crumbling all around you. And I don't know if I failed to mention it, but there's no need to repair or fix the climate because you didn't create it. Climate change and global warming, there's nothing that you can do about them. We are transitioning from this dense 3D, carnal, flesh based body to our lighter, higher, spiritual, crystalline, or light bodies. And that's why the Most High is transitioning the climate so that our light bodies are properly adapted. And basically, that's all that I want to say about this section. And I'm not trying to look ahead. However, the next portion that we study is about Lucifer and his lies. And I guarantee you that you will be shooketh once you listen to the things that I say, but they need to be said because they involve you and your family and your future. And there are some capstones that you have been believing when it comes to him that are full-blown lies. Because after all, he is the father of lies. So, this is Renee. I know once again, sounds like I go off on a tangent, but I have been finding myself lately receiving these downloads through my crown chakra. And again, we will discover chakras and those energy centers that are part of your spirit man that I'm sure you've never studied or had a sermon or a Bible lesson about. But it's time. And for those of you keeping up with my mistakes, I don't know which one that was, but I don't really care. The reason that you do a thing is more important than the thing that you do. And this is known as intention. And my intention is to make sure I get the word out there. If you're still taking notes on what I do wrong, you're going to need some healing around that because that's known as perfecting the flesh, and that ain't what I'm doing. All right. Once again, Renee, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.